Without further ado, joining us on the Comcast Business Hotline Beyond Fast, our good friend Adam Schefter. Good morning, Adam.
Hello there, men. How are we doing?
Great. Yeah, doing well. We are still trying to crack the code on this Jason Peters right guard to left tackle not happening, staying at right guard little fiasco here.
Yeah.
What do you make of this? Not just him at right guard, but kind of the fact that there's no wiggle room here.
Well, what do you mean there's no wiggle room?
It appears that he wants more money to move the left guard or left tackle when no side prepared for it. When we all kind of anticipated if Andre Dillard didn't work out, they just move Jason Peters to left tackle.
You know, it's an unusual case. You don't often hear of a player who signs a month earlier, roughly, wanting more money to switch positions. It's not like the Eagles signed him to play left tackle. They signed him to play offensive line, right?
Yeah, right.
They signed him, and they decided at that point in time, I'm sure they told him he's going to play guard. And yes, there is a higher value that is assigned to tackles, but he's still playing offensive line. And so it's unusual to hear about a player who wants more money a month into the contract or so to want more money to switch positions. Listen, the player is correct. I mean, that is a more valuable position. And I understand his case, and I guess you could make that argument. Again, I just my mind is trained in a different way. Like when you sign a contract, you sign a contract. Like, okay, I signed to appear on your program, and then they want me to do drive time or so. I think that's worth more. Well, but it's radio. Like it's
right.
So it seems odd to me. I'm all for every player making every penny he can at any moment. I think that's great. Again, it's an unusual case that you don't often hear of. That's all I can really say.
Absolutely, Shefty. But here's what takes me. I just don't get it. How does an organization like the Eagles, how does an agent for Jason Peters not look at it and say, there's still a chance here? And I don't want to say like Andre Dillard was going to be some bust, but there's still a chance that he winds up at left tackle anyway. How did they not plan for that during the negotiation?
Well, how do you know that they didn't? Like, I mean, I'm sure that they're not talking about Andre Dillard hurting himself and suffering a season-ending injury.
Right.
So, they're talking about this guy coming back, want him to come back, want you to be a part of this. And then obviously the injuries start happening, and you have to that's football. Like, do I have to explain to you that somebody can get hurt? And
yeah, right.
Wind up going from left to right, or right to left, or guard to tackle, or like.
So, in other words, it's so obscure that it is something that might be. I don't want to use the term.
No. Listen, obscure would be the wrong word.
Okay.
I just think. I don't know the right word for it.
Because it's so weird. It's
unique. It's unique. It's like it's unspoken. It's unspoken. You are signing to provide your services. And I guess you get mad at Philadelphia for not saying, well, if we move you to 10. To me, it would be more on the player. Like when you sign a contract, you say, well, hold on. And I'm going to do 10 TV hits a week, and if I do one radio, I want to get paid extra for that. Like, and it's up to the player to state his demands to me, right? Like, okay, I'm going to sign, but if you move me to left tackle, I want a $3 million bonus to kick in, or whatever it is.
That's the part that's so surprising to me, that the player didn't say, hey, look, I'm trying to see down the future here. Even if Andre Dillard doesn't work out, I know you guys want to move me back. If you do, I want that, like, I don't know, $3 million. Or he signed a $3 million deal. It could be worth up to $6 million. I want the $6 million guaranteed.
Wait, am I wrong about that in the sense that basically any person, whether it's you, me, him, any person when they're signing a contract states basically the things that they're looking for in their deal?
Absolutely.
And if you move me in the afternoon, I want the deal to void.
Right.
And if you move me to tackle, the deal no longer counts. And if you ask me to do this, work on the weekends, I want a bonus. And if I work overtime, I get this.
Yes, and Schefter, he's holding this team hostage now. Doug Peterson comes out in a press conference yesterday and makes absolutely no sense talking about his offensive line, saying, well, you don't want to shuffle things around now, and, we're getting too close to the season, when they just shuffled Matt Pryor, who's never played the left side of the line, over to the left side, and he's getting beat every single play by a guy named Josh Sweat, who reporters at the scene said he beat him for 10 sacks at a scrimmage. Like, Jason Peters is holding this team hostage right now, and I've never seen anything like it. You say you rarely hear of it, or you don't often hear of it. I don't recall ever hearing someone hold a team hostage like this.
You know what? Jason Peters has been a great businessman throughout his entire NFL career. Not only has he been a great offensive line, he's been a great businessman. And so sometimes I look at a player and what he's doing, and I don't agree with it. But in the end, somehow it works out. And maybe in the end it will work for him in that he'll extract something because he does have leverage. But again, I go back to my initial point. Any person in any line of work, when they're signing a contract, usually spells out what they want. It shouldn't be up to the team to say, okay, well, if you do this or that, then we're going to have you make so much more money.
Yeah.
It's up to the employee to state what they want. That's their right when they sign it. And once they sign the contract, then they are under contract.
Right.
To me.
Hey, Adam, I think me, Bob, I think we're all on the same page with you, man. Speaking with Adam Schefter of ESPN, there was another story that came out this week, Leonard Fournette being released. Was it just some bad blood there in Jacksonville, or is there something else wrong with Leonard Fournette?
Well, I'll say this, that they were looking to move on from him before the draft. They were looking to move on from him after the draft. They were looking to move on from him during training camp. They basically had a player that was scheduled to make $4.167 million. They voided the guarantees of that deal. They tried to trade him, couldn't do it. They were putting in their game plan for week 1 this week against the Colts, didn't want it to see it. They have 4 other backs that they believe they wanted to lean on. And I think that if you listen to the words out of there, it seems like some players, are pleased that he's not there. They felt like it'd be addition by subtraction. Now we'll find out whether that's right. And he had a chance to be claimed by any team in the league yesterday. Any team could have claimed his contract. $4.1 million. 31 teams passed. So 31 teams told us yesterday he's not worth $4.1 million.
Wow. So why is he not worth that? And if you had to say,
I believe there are character questions. I think that's the issue right there. I mean, I think when people call around, they don't like what they hear. They call Jacksonville. I don't think like they say. I don't think they get a glowing recommendation. And football is a lot about chemistry. Yes, you want talented players, but more and more you hear guys wanting to make sure that they're going to fit in your locker room, that these guys are going to work together, believe in a mission, one unit, one team kind of thing. And I don't know Leonard Fournette personally, so it would be unfair for me to say, boy, he's a good guy, bad guy. I'm just telling you.
Right.
The reputation when you talk to other teams around the league, they're hesitant. I'm just telling you.
Okay. When you say character issues, in locker room, out of the locker room?
In locker room.
In locker room. Okay.
Yeah, just as a teammate. As a teammate.
Okay.
Not that he's a bad guy.
Right. Understood. I just wanted to clarify. Now, Alvin Kamara's name is starting to come up in some negotiations there, holding out, obviously. That's what it appears to be. You had a tweet saying the same thing. So looking at the Alvin Kamara situation in New Orleans, what do you think happens there?
Well, this has gotten a little stickier than I think either side would have liked for it to become. And he was away from the team last week. I know that I had people call me and say, no, he was in the building. But maybe he was. Mm-hmm. But I had other people tell me and use the exact phrase, unexcused absence. Okay? Like, I didn't just make that up. Mm-hmm. Came to me. And so there are disagreements between the two sides, and so they're continuing to try to work out this contract. It's a situation where they're making some progress. He is supposed to be back at practice today for the first time since last week. And I think as you get closer to the season, players need to get these deals done. Joe Mixon got his deal done yesterday, and 48 hours earlier they were far apart. they make progress, and I think, again, they'll continue doing it. Again, I think they want to get this worked out. They need to get it worked out, and we'll see if they can.
And then the other player I wanted to ask you about, which is a tweet you had Saturday morning, I believe it was, or Sunday morning, Yannick Ngakoue going to the Vikings.
Yeah.
Do you know of the Eagles being in on that other than just a phone call at all?
If they were in on it, it was nothing more than that phone call.
Okay.
They may have had a conversation. It never got anywhere with Philadelphia.
Okay.
Philadelphia was never a viable landing spot. Never got into the thick of it, if you will.
Okay.
Like I think that at one point Jacksonville may have called the Eagles, or would take, we love the guy, but we're not going to do this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Shefty, the turmoil surrounding the Washington football team gets stirred up again, and Daniel Snyder looking to the NFL to kind of help him out, I guess. How do you see that playing out, and do you see Daniel Snyder being the owner of this team, in a year year to come?
Well, let me say this, that if you had said to me at this time last year, do you see this team's name continuing to be the same a year from now, I would have said yes, and it's not. Now they're the Washington football team.
Right.
And now the NFL is taking over the investigation, and now there are limited partners in Washington that are after Dan, and I don't know what that's going to lead to. Look, he seems to have left a trail of breadcrumbs here. I don't know how many more breadcrumbs they're going to dig up and find along that trail. So I don't know what's going to happen here. It's going to depend on what happens with the investigation, and I can't say that because I don't know. But I think that it's fair to say that the league is going to take this very seriously. I think the fact that you're asking the question shows the nature of the seriousness of this. And, yeah, I think it's fair to say that they're going to take a good, long, hard look, and we'll see what they come up with before a decision and a determination is made.
Schefter, real quick, Adam Schefter joining us, ESPN. We had a heated debate last week. It was a movie debate. Heated debate, Schefter. Have you seen the movie Tombstone?
No, I did not see that.
Have you seen the movie Wyatt Earp?
Nope, I don't believe I did.
Okay.
So what I'm hearing from Shefty is Tombstone's better. Yes.
What?
It's apparently the same story, but it's just it's a little bit different. I liked Wyatt Earp, and I was in the vast minority compared to Tombstone. So I was just wondering if you'd seen those two movies, my man.
They're older movies, right?
Early 90s, mid 90s, yeah.
Yeah, a little older. Yeah, I may have seen them back in the. I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
No worries, man. Hey, Schefty, great talking to you again. Look forward to talking to you again throughout the football season, my friend.
Guys, have a great Labor Day weekend. We will be
back
back next Wednesday, one day before the start of the football season. Have my first fantasy football draft tonight, 12-team league, 11th draft slot selection. Miles Sanders, if he's there, I think I'm going to take him. What do we think?
Nice, Shefty.
Well, I don't know. With this turmoil in the offensive line, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Well, you'd think he's going to catch a lot of passes. So.
There you go. Okay,
right.
there we go.
PPR, always good things.
Yes.
So we'll see.
All right, Schefty, great talking to you, bud. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
so much, guys. Have a great day.
Schefty, Adam Schefter joining us right
there. Mark Farzetta with Bob Cooney and Jamie Lynch. Mornings on 97.5 The Fanatic. Philadelphia.